to smell my breath.
No, I have mints. If we need, hold on a second. Don't mind us. I have mints here. We are underway, ladies and gentlemen. Seriously, if you want to. This is Pickup Lines presented by Gomez Law Firm, Integrity Roofing and Siding, and the Sabinal Group. We are live inside the all-electric Lexus RZ 450E, courtesy of North Park Lexus of San Antonio and North Park Lexus at Dominion. No, you're fine. Go ahead. I had some earlier. Okay. This is Luis Rodriguez, the president and CEO of the San Antonio Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I had, full disclosure, I had mints earlier before I came over here because I had coffee before I came here. And I said, I don't want to be breathing coffee breath on you while you're here in the car with me. But it's great to have you on.
It's an honor to be here.
I'll forgive you for outdressing me today because you're looking very sharp. But there's a reason that you are dressed to the nines here because, I mean, within, I don't know, it was the last half hour or so, you literally came over here from City Hall.
I did. I came from the council chambers just right now. It's Thursday, and our mayor and our city council had on the agenda today, number 5, whether or not they should get behind the partnership with the Western Urban Development Center and other owners of the San Antonio Missions to bring a brand new baseball stadium to downtown San Antonio, but not just downtown, Ernie, on the southwest side of downtown, on the west side of San Antonio, that tends to get overlooked at times. And what a great opportunity, not only for downtown, but in that particular side of San Antonio. And I was there on behalf of the chamber, advocating to ensure that not only that can it happen, make it happen, but that they focus on including small minority women-owned businesses, and we still keep our local flavor. You want local vendors and retailers in there, because that's what we are. We're puro San Antonio. We're very delicious. As a city.
I agree. I haven't heard it described quite that way, but I don't disagree with you. And you talked about contractors as well. Like when the bids go out for the electrical and the masonry and everything, you want that to be here.
We'd love if there are companies that are here in San Antonio, which they are. We've built stadiums before. We've built Alamo Domes. We've built the AT&T Center, now the Frost Center out there where the Spurs play. We can build a baseball stadiums here. So we have the talent, we have the workforce, and the majority of them live right here in San Antonio or the Bexar County area. And we'd love for the owners to strongly consider focusing on the local vendors here in San Antonio.
When you say the southwest side or the part of San Antonio downtown that kind of gets overlooked, are people, because I think people are thinking, is this going to be where the Institute of Sex and Cultures is, or geographically, where exactly is that?
So we all know where, I don't know, I'm familiar where Fox Tech High School is because my daughters go to ALA. One graduated from ALA and is a Texas Tech regular.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute,
and so it's going to be on that quadrant of downtown San Antonio. It's very close to Mi Tierra, very close to that part of downtown San Antonio. And I don't have very many landmarks because there aren't very many to talk about.
Well, Mi Tierra people know.
Besides Mi Tierra, Market Square.
If we could just get them to open back up 24 hours a day.
Oh my gosh, it'd be nice, right?
I mean,
I was shocked when I went there at 11:01.
I know.
And they were closed. I was like, oh, what do I do now?
We need to work on that.
Go to Whataburger. They said.
Well, I know. We have love for the Cortez family, so we need that to happen. Go back to 24 hours a day. It's a foregone conclusion, right? I mean, we are going to get a stadium downtown. It's going to happen, right?
Well, they're going to vote in a little while. That's why I had it on here, right? Everyone, to the council's credit, they were listening to everybody. Yeah. As because we live in a great city of San Antonio that all voices are welcome, and based on the information that was shared and obviously the meetings that were happening prior, I think they've ironed out a lot. And I think the city of San Antonio put together a strategic plan in place to ensure that, Western Urban Development and the city built something that's for everyone in San Antonio. I think it looks good. I don't want to. You never count your chicks before.
No, I know that. That's true.
But it looks good.
I know Major League Baseball though has kind of been putting pressure on the city to get something done, or else. So I suspect in a few years we'll get to enjoy that ballpark. But in the most practical layman's terms, how would you describe a chamber's role? And then there are multiple chambers here in town. But why was it important for you to be there today? And what role in something this significant that will impact San Antonio for decades, what role does the chamber, the Hispanic chamber, play in this?
Yeah, well, real quick, something unique about the San Antonio Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Many folks don't know, especially from San Antonio. We are the first, and we're the oldest Hispanic Chamber of Commerce ever formed in the United States of America.
95 years old?
1929.
29, yeah.
We're La Cámara Mexicana de San Antonio. And then we changed it to the San Antonio Hispanic Chamber of Commerce in the late 90s. So Puerto Ricans, half Mexican, half Puerto Ricans like me, could feel included. Now, the role this chamber plays specifically is we have about 1,000 members. And out of those members, 90% are small minority women-owned businesses. And it is our job to advocate on their behalf to ensure when opportunities like this come to San Antonio, that they have a voice at the table, so an opportunity is created for them to do business, to get their services in front of the buyers, and hopefully do business, to get their products in front of the buyers, and hopefully do business. That is our main role as the San Antonio Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, is to be that voice for small minority women-owned businesses here in San Antonio.
So when you say SMBs, that means small
medium business enterprises.
Small medium business enterprises. Okay, I'm learning some stuff here.
These acronyms, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of letters to remember and everything. And I want to get to some of your previous chamber experience and how you got here in just a little bit, but you touched on this earlier. You and I share something in common that I did not realize until just a month ago.
Facebook, right?
Facebook. gotta love Facebook, right? By the way, this is Luis Rodriguez, the president and CEO of the San Antonio Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. You sent me a very nice note about a month ago or so, when I was dropping off my oldest daughter at Texas Tech University in Lubbock. And I had no idea that you were maybe simultaneously doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think I dropped my Isabella off a week prior because she was rushing for sorority. So we were there, and then I saw you there, and I was like, oh, wow, how cool is this? We need to get them to connect.
We do.
Because I think this is your firstborn, your
Correct,
oldest.
my oldest.
Mine too, and then have our mijas 6 hours away from San Antonio, and it's not an easy plane trip. It's not it's not. I got a story. We broke down on the way back.
Oh, don't tell me.
And
that.
we're stranded on the way in between Winters, Texas, and Ballinger. We had to stay at a hotel. It's another story, but it was.
Did you really? Because I have nightmares about that.
Yeah, it was something else.
Because there's just nothing but wind turbines and wide open, as the chicks used to say, wide open spaces.
Wide open spaces.
So you broke down.
We did on the way back, and we called AAA, and even they said, because 2 hours had gone by, he's like, hey, no one's coming. They're like, you are in the middle of nowhere. I was like, well, I thought that's why you were for, in case I'm in the middle of nowhere.
That's good to know. In case,
Well, we figured it out. Someone came from Winters, Texas, towed us back there. They said, we can't get to your truck till tomorrow morning. So that was on a Friday. They looked at it Saturday and said, hey, good news and bad news. Good news is we can fix your car. It's a fuel pump.
Okay.
Bad news is we got to order a part, so it won't be here till Tuesday. And so we ended up figuring out that Abilene, Texas wasn't so, because if we were in Winters, there's no Uber, there's no Lyft, there's no taxi, there's no bus, there's no car rental places. We had to eat across the street from the hotel we stayed at. There was a gas station. We had good pizza. And
gas station pizza?
And gas station red wine to help us go to bed. We found a Pinot there. It's like, God help us sleep tonight, right? And so, but we made it back. A taxi service came from Abilene, Texas, picked us up, took us to the airport, and we made it back to San Antonio.
All right. Well, at least I know what the expectations are. If for some reason I have car trouble on the way between here and emotionally, though, how were you in that experience, and your wife and the family and everything?
It was very surreal, because we had been planning, anticipating, all the campus visits, and she was between University of Colorado and Boulder and Texas Tech. I'm glad she stayed in Texas from an in-state tuition.
Amen to that.
But it hit me when my youngest, Madeline, when we started school, I was like, oh my gosh, Bella's not here to take her, because Bella would take her to school. And it sat, right? I was like, wow, Isabella is truly not here. So you'll catch me many a night. When I come home, I go and I look at her empty room, and I'll call her sporadically. I don't text. I just, Mija, what are you doing? And so, but the good news is she's doing great.
Yes.
I think Texas Tech is to all those alumni to Texas Tech. I think everyone can attest. It's a really good campus. And
we love it. So far, so good.
And so I'm glad your daughter is enjoying it.
Yes, no, God. I mean, thank you, Jesus. So far, so good. She's enjoying it and doing animal sciences. But yes, we'll have to have them connect.
We do.
Ava's up there.
Are you going to family weekend?
I am. As a matter of fact,
we'll be there
at the end of the month. We'll be.
Oh yeah. Did you see the hotels? They start at 8. Se creen mucho. Lubbock became Vegas all of a sudden.
So we booked ours months ago.
Smart.
But there's still
You're smart. Yeah.
Maybe I'll find your place in Ballinger, wherever you said
Ballinger,
you stayed.
Texas,
We'll stay over there. But at any rate, Luis Rodriguez here with San Antonio Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, which we're parked right outside the office here. Yeah. Beautiful facility and everything. This used to be a bank, right?
It was. This was a bank. We're so proud to be at Port San Antonio, and we're excited about the redevelopment that's taking place here. I think it makes perfect sense that the San Antonio Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is here because, Ernie, I don't know if you remember, when I met you, when you were at Fox 29, KABB.
Yes, back in the day.
We were at the Pearl Brewery. And the San Antonio Hispanic Chamber of Commerce was one of 14 new residents there because you had the CIA, you had El Sonio, you had La Gloria with Johnny, and the early settlers there. And we were there part of before Emma, before everything became as kind of that chispa, you could say, that little spark, I like to say, that ignited to what the Pearl is today. And we like to think that that's happening here at the port.
Right.
Jim Persbach and his team, Juan Antonio Flores, who is the Executive Vice President for Government Affairs for Port San Antonio, is our chairman-elect next year. And it makes great sense to be here right now because of the development that's happening right here at Port San Antonio with the Boeing Tech Center that's happening with the concerts.
Stone's throw away from here.
Our Core for STEM Expo is held here as well. So it's a great location for us to be right now.
You took this job, or you started back in April, right?
Yes,
this year. So it hasn't even been, what is it, 6?
This will be 6 months, if I make it to the end.
Now, stop. But you're on a probation period or something, or what? You were no stranger to the chamber, obviously.
Yeah.
You had bounced around. I think, to put it mildly, you kind of bounced around most of your life, right? I mean, even going back to when you were a kid. Like, did you grow up in San Antonio, or you're in a military family?
Well,
right?
My father was in the military, so I was born in Killeen, Fort Hood, that is now Cavazos, Fort Hood, north of Austin. I have a sister that was born in Ramstein, Germany. We lived. My father's Puerto Rican, so we lived in Puerto Rico for a little while. We lived in Europe. What brought us to Texas? El Paso, Fort Bliss.
Yes,
Fort Bliss. I was so young, I don't remember. And then Fort Sam Houston is where my father retired, and this is where we lived. The majority of my childhood was here in San Antonio, Texas.
So high school, did you do all 4 years in one place?
I did. So, right, because I think I shared with you, I went to Charles C. Ball Elementary, Riverside Elementary, and then I went to Rogers Middle School, Alamo Heights Middle School, Mark Twain Middle School, Smith and Valley Middle School. We kind of jumped all over the place in San Antonio, and then we settled finally in the south side of San Antonio, and I graduated from McCollum High School.
There you have it. Okay, very good. What kind of a student were you?
A student that was thankful that he passed, right? I've always loved government affairs, though. Government affairs and economic development, and ironically, math, right, as well. But, I was still passed when I was supposed to pass. I showed up when I was supposed to show up. I wasn't your greatest student, but I wasn't your worst student either. So I think I was just right there in the middle.
Like student council, those kinds of things? Or what was it? You talked about like civic engagement and those types of things. What was it, your earliest experiences where you were like, you kind of clicked with that?
Well, it was government affairs. It was
government
Mr. Slack in McCollum. When I went to McCollum, Mr. Slack, he spoke about government affairs and, policymakers. And so that's always resonated with me. But what ended up happening is I got into the sales and development role right after high school and some college, and felt that I was really good at talking to people. And if you're really good at that and you sell very well, you get compensated very, very
You can, yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's exactly right.
So I did that for a few years before getting involved with the San Antonio Hispanic Chamber of Commerce as a member,
right?
And just found so much value. It did a lot for me in my business at the time when I worked at United Van Lines, and then Ramiro Cavazos was the president and CEO.
Absolutely.
And he wooed me over. He's like, hey,
like a mentor of yours, right?
Yeah, he's a dear friend, dear mentor, a big brother to me, and I thought I was going to come work with the chamber, get to work under Ramiro's leadership and the great board of directors at the time for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Ended up being a 7-year stint before I was wooed to Austin to be the CEO of the Austin Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And
right. I wonder if you were to, because Austin and San Antonio get compared to each other so often. Austin, it was the Greater Austin Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Mm-hmm. San Antonio Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. How on earth would you describe or compare the two?
One thing I learned quickly about Austin, because I knew Austin is going to 6th Street, right? If you were San Antonio, you would go to Austin to go to 6th Street and just have and then quickly come back to San Antonio to eat good food. And so things have changed in Austin. They have good food. They have great people. But the biggest thing I noticed for this city, Austin, Texas, just north of us, and San Antonio here, just south,
yes,
that are so close to one another, we are a world apart. We are a world apart. Just different mindset, different ecosystem. I mean, we're an over 300-year-old city here.
Yes.
And, you know, Austin is, I think, 180 something, right?
Yeah.
And so, what the biggest differences I saw was there were some similarities. For example, in Austin at that time in 2017, Austin's at that time was 37% Hispanic majority, right? There was 37% of the population in Travis County was Hispanic. The difference was they operated in silos.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't really operate as this 37% ethnic group in the city of Austin as a powerhouse. They were siloed, and I learned a lot from San Antonio when I went over there, and I was a big builder of bridges. I communicated and I built bridges with each other so we could really be that voice that needed to be heard in Austin, Texas, and just advocate on behalf of one of their fastest growing, the Hispanic is the fastest growing population in Travis County as well at the time. So it was important that they had a united voice.
How did that experience being in Austin help you to get this? Because I know there were some finalists, and I'm sure there was plenty of great competition for this position. How did that help you ultimately land this job?
You know, funny story. Before I came here, the reason I returned to San Antonio, great friend of mine, Brett Piat, he's one of our great cybersecurity experts here in tech in San Antonio. He's the CEO of Cyber Fortress.
Mm-hmm.
And we got together and launched a small tech company called Modern Managed IT.
Right.
We did a little bit of fundraising. We were able to fundraise $1 million, and we started this company up at Geekdom. It's still going today. It's doing great things. And I did that for 4 years, but I was still involved with the San Antonio Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, serving on the board and being involved as a member. And it wasn't till late last year, earlier this year, you know, something, you know, got a hold of me and said, you know, Luis, you should throw your name in the ring. I got a few folks that said you should throw your name in the ring. I'm so grateful for the board, the leadership. They put a very, very well thought out hiring committee together. Very hard questions that you had to prepare. They did it right, and I was just thankful to have been considered, to have been one of the top candidates to interview for the job, and 3, let alone to be sitting in this car here with you at our headquarters here in Port San Antonio as the CEO of this wonderful organization.
So give me an example. What's an example of a hard question that was asked of you?
Yes. Okay, let me see. Hold it without breaking like any.
Please don't get yourself in trouble. But.
Right. Who had better tacos, Austin or San Antonio?
Oh, okay, yes. Now we've triggered people. Okay. No, we'll leave it at that here. So, you know, I know you've got your gala coming up. You mentioned 95 years, so I'm guessing, I don't know if it's too early to start planning for a centennial, which will be in 5
years. Yeah.
29.
So, Ernie, that brings up. Yeah. So one of the questions they did ask was, how do you see this chamber celebrating its centennial event? I can share with that.
Okay.
And one thing I did share with the hiring committee at the time was, I think all chambers of commerces have had to reinvent themselves after COVID. COVID taught many nonprofits, but specifically chambers of commerces, because a chamber of commerce generates revenue in 2 main streams of revenue generations: membership. And events. Events. Well, when COVID happened, you could not have events. I hated it. You couldn't put people together to network, to cultivate relationships, to learn one another, to do. But that was gone. And then if you're a small business owner and you're tightening that budget, what's one of the first things to go? I don't need to be a member of this chamber right now.
Right.
And so that was thrown out the window. So chambers had to reinvent themselves. And I think those that were able to seize that, you know, in the midst of chaos, there's always people who find opportunities. And the chambers really stepped up and said we could do Zoom meetings with SBA and just learn people about the grants for employee retention tax credits, everything that was impacting COVID for small businesses. Chambers rose up to become that educational platform to help these businesses get back on track, to utilize the resources that were being put out there to help them survive and thrive and push through COVID. And so I think when we think, what does Centennial look like for this organization, some of our leaders is that we want to get our old former chairmen and chairwomen to get on a committee. This is all the thought process of our chairman, Stephen Alanis, right now.
Yes.
To see what we want to look like in year 100. We have some great programs. Can I talk about those programs?
Yeah, go ahead, sure.
We have the Alex Machino Leadership Development Program. So many ABODP alums throughout San Antonio.
I've heard so many great things. I haven't had a chance to do it, but I have heard a lot of great things, and I know good people come out of that program.
Great folks come out of that program. Then we launched our Latina Leadership Institute program, empowering Latinas to seek leadership in to become elected officials in our county, in our city, in our state, to run for judicial seats as well. There's so many Latina Leadership Institute alumni that are serving elected roles right now. They're doing great. We're partners with the Leadership San Antonio as well, with the Greater Chamber and ourselves together.
LSA,
LSA. And then we have our Core 4 STEM Expo. And our Core 4 STEM Expo is focused on workforce development tied with education on middle school students. As a chamber, we've gone together with our Toyota Motor Manufacturing, the Joint Base San Antonio, Army, Navy, everybody, the CPS, SAWS, our technology members, all focusing on stimulating the minds of the children in middle school and inner city school districts on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's a really great event that we partner up with multiple school districts in San Antonio, and we bring over 6,000 students in 2 days to really just try to plant that seed about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and ensure if you get them on an early age, hopefully that'll be that chispa for them to ignite a flame in STEM for them to pursue in the future.
I think it is important that you brought that up, because I think maybe there's a misconception, correct me if I'm wrong, so people see Chamber of Commerce and they see the fun events and, the fiesta stuff and everything, but they don't realize, it's a year-round job, and you guys are doing all these things when there are no cameras around. Trying to improve the community, and you've been doing it for 95 years.
Correct.
So I think that's super important. A few more minutes here with Luis Rodriguez before you get what else do you have? It's not barely lunchtime. What else are you doing today?
Well, after this, I think I have. We can pull up the calendar.
Well, go ahead.
After you.
Okay.
We're I'm good till 3 p.m.
Okay. Well, I won't keep it till 3 p.m.
Yeah.
I promise that. Go-to restaurant spot around here?
Oh man, around here, gosh, there's we always tend to make a trip to Mi Tierra, right? Because it's right down the street. Love Fruteria Botanero.
Okay.
Man, I love some of the best tortas in town are Fruteria Botanero. Have you been to right here on? I believe it's right by Ceballos.
I don't know that I have.
Oh, it's so good.
Me too.
It is well.
Okay.
Where else? I bring my lunch. I'm a boring person too. I like to during lunch. If I don't have a lunch meeting, I like to work through lunch.
Well, I was gonna say, because you're super busy, but you find time to exercise and maintain your physique and everything. I understand you are a hooper.
Oh yeah, if you want to call what I do playing basketball, I do enjoy, right? And I've been fortunate. We play at a Catholic over 40 league, and they play at St. Pius. They're off of Harry Warsbach, and for 2 consecutive years, we've won the over 40 league champions. We're called the Turtles. The Turtles, because
is that because you move slow, or why?
Because the Thirsty Turtle is a bar that sponsors us.
I thought it was because you're very old and you move slow. That makes it. Who do you? I'm sorry. That's you know what I dabbled in playing basketball once upon a time, but I got so nervous about hurting myself.
I know, that's the scary.
But that's
thing.
that you take care.
That's why you don't run fast and play hard. Just learn how to shoot from a very far distance.
3-point distance.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, who do you model your game after?
If I could be anyone, it would be Steve Curry, because he doesn't see a shot he doesn't like, and neither do I, right?
And he won, between coaching and playing, he's won like 8 championships.
Yeah,
like that,
just put him up there and hope for the best, man.
Steve Kerr, I like it.
Of course, my percentage, he probably shoots like in the 30s. I'm like 0.3%.
Did you play at McCollum?
I did 1 year.
You played basketball, okay.
Then I got kicked off because I had an earring. Coach Smith, yeah.
Because you got kicked off the team?
Yeah, because you didn't have your ears pierced. Yep, remember the shrimp earrings?
Absolutely, I remember. Yeah, you didn't wear shrimps.
An earring, yeah.
You did?
Yeah,
no,
I did.
I didn't. I don't know.
This is like 1993 we're talking about here, Ernie. It was cool back then.
Well, I remember.
It was cool
I was in the
then.
high school in the 90s as well. But I did not get my ears pierced because I hate needles.
Oh, yeah.
And that was non-negotiable for you? Like you wouldn't, because you had already...
No, you got caught with it. You were out.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. Very strict, yeah. It's all right. We weren't a very good basketball team at that time, so I don't think I missed out on
Well, you turned out okay, and you can still play basketball here. All right. Couple more minutes with Luis Rodriguez. Having a lot of fun here. So we got our daughters off to college and everything. You got your things going on. This time of year, you're planning for your gala and everything. What else is like high priority on your desk or in front of you right now?
Yeah. So, right now, obviously, was the baseball stadium and making sure that our board, our members listened, because we had the Western Urban Development and the other owners come present and also experience some hard questions and give us really good answers. For us to get behind that and support it to ensure there was small minority women business is focused on there. Next week, we're going to Querétaro, Mexico, with the mayor and Alamo Community Colleges, as well as Querétaro, Mexico is showcasing over 100 of San Antonio local artists at their art museum in Querétaro. How awesome is that? And so we're going to go in celebration with that and the mayor on the 20th of September. And this chamber, the Hispanic chamber, along with Asociación Empresarios Mexicanos, their president currently is Victor Reina, and the Tech Block executive director and CEO Ileana Gonzalez. We partnered up, and we're going to do a little Chamber of Commerce type of stuff the day before. I love that.
Ileana is another person I want to get here in the car with me, because I've heard amazing things.
She really is.
I think it's important stuff that happens that not enough people know about. Which is part of the reason I like to have these conversations and everything, because part of your job is like goodwill ambassador, right? I mean, you're traveling all over the place. You got the lapel pin on. You're shaking hands and kissing babies and doing that kind of stuff, right?
Well, I don't know about kissing babies, but definitely shaking hands. And so with that, Ernie, it is. Today's October the 12th. No, September the 12th, right? So we're 30 days out exactly from our gala. It's our 95th, and you've been to.
I emceed last year.
I was going to say you were our host last year.
Honored to do that. But you're right. It's a great room. Amazing people. It's like almost like a who's who of San Antonio, as far as you can see.
It's the largest. I think we average over 1,400 in attendance.
It's at the convention center, so I mean, you got to have a.
This year we're at the Grand Hyatt.
This year at the Grand Hyatt. Last year,
we're at the convention
you need a big
center.
place. You need a big place.
Yeah. And we also, our keynote speaker is Humberto Garcia. He is the author of Mustang Miracles that later became The Long Game.
So my father and my mother, my late mother, went to San Felipe High School in Del Rio.
No way.
And so little teaser. I will have a guest next week related to that movie.
Wow.
Leo Vasquez. That's the plan. His father was Gene Vasquez, one of the San Felipe golfers depicted in the movie.
Oh my goodness.
So Leo's here in town and we're trying to get together. But my parents, San Felipe High School no longer exists, but if you've seen the movie The Long Game, my parents are about 10 years younger than the golfers depicted in the movie. But he wrote the book that ultimately, Humberto wrote the book that ultimately became the movie.
And I mean, it's such a great movie.
It's an unbelievable story. I've known about this story for years. And had I had the money at the time and everything, I would have tried to produce the thing myself, because
what a story.
It's an unbelievable story. Unbelievable story.
A lot of people think it had to do with goodness gracious, from El Paso, the golfer from El Paso. He's still with us. He got struck by lightning.
Oh shoot, man, I'm drawing a blank on that.
Anyone know?
It'll come to us as soon as we finish here. But a lot of people, and I was trying to do some research because I don't know that San Felipe High School no longer exists.
No, the name is
it's the Del Rio San Felipe SFDRCISD, San Felipe Del Rio Consolidated Independent School District. I don't know, and somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if another Del Rio high school team has won a state title since the golf team there in the 50s.
Not alone the golf, just in general.
Right. So I'd have to double check that, but. Stay tuned, because next week Mr. Vasquez is supposed to be here, and he's got an unbelievable story.
I can't wait to see.
But I'm so glad that you mentioned that. Well, listen, top of the hour here. I'm gonna let you get on to the rest of your day. But I'm so thrilled to have had this conversation, because I know we've got the common shared thing with our daughters at Tech now and everything. And I've admired what you guys have done. I've got friends here at the chamber. And I've admired what you guys have done for a long time, and if I can be of any help in any way as you approach the 100th end of the centennial here, let me know.
We'd be honored to seek you and we'll take you up on that offer. Count on it.
Please do.
Absolutely.
There he is, Luis Rodriguez, the president and CEO of the San Antonio Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, doing some amazing things, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
There you have it. Another episode of Pickup Lines right here. We'll be back with another episode tomorrow. But until then, have a great day, and thanks for watching.
Bye, y'all.
Bye for now.